Blackfella rebels. The Black War, also known as the Black Line, was a period of violent conflict between European settlers and Aboriginal Australians in Tasmania, then known as Van Diemen's Land, from the 1820s to the 1830s. It was a time of great upheaval, displacement, and tragedy for the Aboriginal people, and it's essential to acknowledge and understand their experiences and perspectives. The Black War was a response to the encroachment of European settlers on Aboriginal land, the destruction of their food sources, and the violence and mistreatment they suffered at the hands of the colonizers. The Aboriginal people of Tasmania, including the Palawa and other tribes, had lived on the island for thousands of years, with their own distinct cultures, languages, and traditions. As the British established settlements and expanded their territory, they displaced the Aboriginal people, leading to conflicts over land, resources, and cultural differences. The Aboriginal people resisted the invasion, and the Black War was a culmination of their struggles to protect their land, families, and way of life. Aboriginal leaders. Manalagenna 1770 to 1835, a respected leader of the Ben Lomond tribe, Manalagenna was known for his resistance to European settlement and his efforts to protect his people. He was captured by the British in 1831 and eventually died in captivity. Tullabiderima 1790 to 1832, a leader of the Oyster Bay tribe, Tullabiderima was involved in several conflicts with European settlers. He was eventually captured and exiled to Flinders Island, where he died. Waradi 1795 to 1842, a leader of the Bruny Island tribe, Waradi was known for his skills as a mediator and negotiator. He worked with European authorities to establish a reserve for his people but ultimately died in captivity. European figures. Governor George Arthur, 1784 to 1854, the governor of Van Diemen's Land from 1824 to 1836. Arthur implemented policies aimed at removing Aboriginal people from their land and relocating them to reservations. His administration was marked by violence, forced removals, and the deaths of many Aboriginal people. Lieutenant Governor George Franklin, 1784 to 1842. Franklin was a British military officer who played a key role in the Black War. He led several expeditions against Aboriginal groups and was involved in the capture and exile of many Aboriginal leaders. John Batman, 1801 to 1839, a British settler and explorer, Batman was involved in the colonisation of Tasmania and Victoria. He was known for his conflicts with Aboriginal people and was involved in the capture and sale of Aboriginal children. Key events. The Black Line, 1830, a massive military operation in which a «black line» of soldiers and settlers was formed to drive Aboriginal people out of their lands and into captivity. The Conciliation, 1831, an attempt by Governor Arthur to negotiate with Aboriginal leaders, which ultimately failed due to mistrust and cultural differences. The Flinders Island Exile, 1832–1839, many Aboriginal people, including leaders like Manalagenna and Tullabiderima, were forcibly removed from Tasmania and exiled to Flinders Island, where they suffered from disease, malnutrition, and mistreatment. The Black War was a traumatic and devastating period in Australian history, marked by violence, displacement, and the loss of lives and cultures. Manalagenna, 1770 to 1835. Manalagenna was a respected leader of the Ben Lomond tribe, which inhabited the northeastern region of Tasmania. He was known for his resistance to European settlement and his efforts to protect his people. Conflicts and events. The Cape Grim Massacre, 1828. Manalagenna's tribe was involved in a conflict with European sealers and whalers at Cape Grim, Tasmania. The conflict resulted in the deaths of several Aboriginal people, including women and children. The Robbins Island Incident, 1829. Manalagenna and his tribe were involved in a confrontation with European settlers on Robbins Island, off the coast of Tasmania. The incident resulted in the deaths of several Aboriginal people and the destruction of their food sources. The capture of Manalagenna, 1831. Manalagenna was captured by European authorities and taken to Hobart, where he was imprisoned. He was eventually released and exiled to Flinders Island, where he died in 1835. Tullabiderima, 1790 to 1832. Tullabiderima was a leader of the Oyster Bay tribe, which inhabited the eastern region of Tasmania. He was known for his bravery and resistance to European settlement. Conflicts and events. The Oyster Bay Conflict, 1828–1829, Tulla Baderrama's tribe was involved in a series of conflicts with European settlers over land and resources. The conflicts resulted in the deaths of several Aboriginal people and the destruction of their food sources. The capture of Tulla Baderrama, 1830. Tulla Baderrama was captured by European authorities and taken to Hobart, where he was imprisoned. He was eventually exiled to Flinders Island, where he died in 1832. The Black Line, 1830. Tulla Baderrama's tribe was one of the many Aboriginal groups targeted during the Black Line, a massive military operation aimed at driving Aboriginal people out of their lands and into captivity. Waradi, 1795–1842. Waradi was a leader of the Bruny Island tribe, which inhabited the island off the southeastern coast of Tasmania. He was known for his skills as a mediator and negotiator. Details of the conflicts and events. The Bruny Island Conflict, 1829–1830. Waradi's tribe was involved in a series of conflicts with European settlers over land and resources. The conflicts resulted in the deaths of several Aboriginal people and the destruction of their food sources. The Conciliation, 1831. Waradi was involved in the Conciliation, an attempt by Governor Arthur to negotiate with Aboriginal leaders. Waradi acted as a mediator between the British and other Aboriginal groups. The Flinders Island Exile, 1832–1839. Waradi was eventually exiled to Flinders Island, where he lived until his death in 1842. It's worth noting that the historical records of these conflicts and events are often biased towards the European perspective, and the details may vary depending on the source. However, it's clear that Manalaagena, Tulla Baderrama, and Waradi were all important leaders who played significant roles in the resistance to European settlement and the struggle for their people's survival. Thanks for watching. Please share, thumbs up and subscribe. Cheers.